Now I'm going to tell you a couple of things about Gene that probably nobody knows. Quite frankly, at the end of the day, he doesn't really know anything about economic development. In fact, if he took a test, I'm sure he would flunk. However, what I do know and what has made you so successful is that you have a love of your community and service that I have never found as strong in anyone else I've ever known. You have a gift for getting great projects started and being smart enough to get out of the way and let these things happen. Back when we spent one full day helping a client, we spent some time talking about how we could help our clients better. We kicked some ideas around, and because you were just so darn important, you got invited to a Bank of North Dakota strategy session. From that session came FlexPace, which we all know and use all the time. Well, I might want to take 5% of the credit for putting some of the idea in his head. The reality is, FlexPace was created by Gene. And I know there are a lot of people that have benefited from that greatly because of your foresight and your love of your community. Now, I routinely go to JDA meetings every month in Watford. I think Daniel thinks I like coming and just hanging out with him. And I do, but honestly, I go because it's the last thing Gene does where he's involved with economic development. And I know if I go, I might be the only time I get to see him. About a year and a half ago, we were working on the new Wolfpuck project, and he told me, I think I'm going to do one more term on the JDA because it is so important to me to finish that project. That's when it sunk in that my nest was again going to be empty. I remember one of the first years I lived in Watford and went to Ribfest, I ran into Gene sitting on a picnic table in the middle of Main Street, and he was just sitting there smiling, not saying anything. And he said to me, Olson, could you believe that this could ever happen in Watford? I know you don't like to take credit for things, but I can tell you a lot of the projects that have happened in Watford happened because of you. Not that you did all the work, but you were always the champion. You have been a key component of why the SBDC is so well used, and the fact that you tell people it's okay to use our program gives us the credibility that has allowed us to work in your community for over 20 years. That's one of the reasons you are truly a champion for our program, both when Gary was running it and now while I am a steward of the program. One of the things I remember quite vividly was giving you a hard time when you won Economic Developer of the Year. And you told me, Olson, I wish people would quit making a big deal about it and just give me the damn award. Well, Gene, after we watched the video, there's nothing that will mean more to me than just giving you the damn award.
Northwestern North Dakota can credit much of its economic development to Watford City native Gene Veeder. In addition to being a third-generation Mackenzie County rancher, Gene has served his community as a board member, as a county commissioner, as president of the Economic Development Association of North Dakota, and so much more. For decades, Gene has been instrumental in improving the quality of life in Western North Dakota.
Thank you. Thank you for Williston for having me here. As you know, I kind of involuntarily got out of the business a few years ago. I had some health problems, and so I haven't seen many of you for a while. When I walked in the room, it was so overwhelming to shake hands with those of you that I've worked with for years. In this room, in the city of Williston, I don't know if people in Watford City or McKenzie County know how much time we spent together up here with you people. And I appreciate it, and you remain my friends. I think we all understand, you in the room understand this community thing and what it's like to truly love your community and do anything for it. A little bit, when Brent was up here, I was thinking, Brent, you and I have something in common. I came back to the community years ago in Watford City. I'd been working for the University of North Dakota. I needed to get back to the ranch. Mr. Stengham, Steve, brought me in his office, his dad, and him said, why don't you come work for us? I started in this business working for Steve. My time in banking gave me the best understanding of what needs to happen in economic development and how that ties in with the SBDCs. My wife, Beth, is here. Beth is an entrepreneur. She owns businesses in Watford City. I understand your challenges through what she deals with every day to provide the best quality service that she can in the community, not because really she needs to make $1 million. We haven't quite done that yet. But because she loves her customers and she loves her community. So I began this with telling you about Beth because she's the person that's always been here for me. All these meetings I went to, Beth's always supported that. We all need that in our community. I also had the group of people sitting at my table as a group of commissioners, Ron Anderson, Dale Patton, Richard Psycho. Who else is over there? I can't see here now. Dale Patton, I said, who am I missing? Beth, yell at me. Doug Nordby. Those people, when you come to them with an idea, they didn't say, I don't know, they just say, bring it back to us, tell us how you're going to make it work. And that's the joy of working for 30 years in a community like that. Steve did it for me. The bank did it for me. Craig Heist is a commissioner. Now, we still can come to the commission and say, we've got these ideas, can we make it happen? The joys of the SBDC and people like Keith is he's right. When I'm in a room, I'm almost always the dumbest guy in the room. Almost, sometimes I'm not the last, but mostly I'm the dumbest guy in the room. Surround yourself with smart people, champion them, give them credit, help them move forward, help it happen, and start with the idea that you can make it happen. I would have to say that probably the best part of me being here tonight, though, is reminding myself how many years I spent up here in Williston with Ward and Gary and Sean and Tom and all of you they're just my friends that we've worked with. So I appreciate you coming down to Watford City and recognizing that we're all in this together. And I'm just so happy for your successes here. I'm happy for the successes in Watford City. And I thank my friends for showing up for me. I apologize if I didn't name you all, but you're all my friends. I'm happy to be back working in economic development a little bit. I'm still the dumbest guy in the room, but I always have Keith to kind of remind me that I am the dumbest guy in the room. You don't have to be the best at everything. You just have to know good people, and you have to champion them and make them work. So thank you for having me. Thank you for that presentation, Keith. You're a special friend, and you always will be, as will those of you in this room that you know who you are. You know the times we've had and the fun we've had and the challenges we've had. We've been in together. So thank you. Thank you very much.